So, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. My name is Jon Ferrara, the CEO of Nimble, and today's a really great day. It's Friday. It's beautiful here in Southern California, except for the fires that are affecting our neighbors. Fires are something we deal with in Southern California. Um, I am excited to talk about where we've been, where we're at, and where we're going as a platform. And to do that, I'm going to give you a little bit of background because some of you may not know the background story of Nimble, and then just refresh what we've done in the recent past 12 months or so, and then take you into a little bit of the future. Please use the GoToWebinar questions section and ask questions. Joe's going to be curating those in the background and putting them into a Google Doc so I could then answer as many of those at the end. So let's go ahead and get started. Nimble has evolved into the simple, smart CRM that works for you by building itself and then works with you everywhere you work. We're built for Office 365 and G Suite, and we're really all about relationships. I think that at the heart of Nimble is really just a really amazing contact manager, and I think that contact management is really misunderstood in the world today because we really don't have a good contact manager anymore. Today, your contact manager in Gmail G Suite is the contacts tab, which you never go to, or in Office, the contacts tab, and contacts aren't connected to email or calendar, and they don't have insights and context. So ultimately, they don't really function. And that's why we built Nimble, because we really believe that your network is your net worth, that your brand in your network will help you achieve your dreams in life. And hopefully your dreams include serving others, because I think that service is the new sales. Relationships are critical to your life success, and relationships are earned on intimacy and trust. People buy from people they like, know, and trust, and it's your job to get to know who somebody is and what their business is about before you ever engage. In the old days, we did that by going in somebody's office. I taught every sales rep I ever trained to look at the walls, look at the books they read, the degree of the school they went to, the knickknacks they collect. All these will give you clues into the 5 F's of life: family, friend, food, fun, and fellowship. This is how you build intimacy and trust, by sharing the things you have in common in order to get them open up to you about their business issues, which as a professional you can then solve. Today, we're doing that electronically, and it's scattered in a million different places. And I don't know if you feel it, but I'm feeling over-connected and over-communicated. When I look at my email inbox and I see 392,000 unread open emails, I have to breathe a little bit of anxiety. But that's just our world today. And ultimately, your brand is going to affect your visibility to the people that you want to connect to, who aren't just prospects and customers. Have you Googled yourself recently? How do you show up on that page? Are you filling the page? If you're not, you need to start working towards that, because you need to stand out from your competition, because the journey of the decision-making process of your prospects, customers, and ideally their influencers is more of a pretzel than a funnel. And you need to be part of that decision cycle on a regular basis, so that when they do make a buying decision, they not only pick up the phone and call you, but they drag their friends with them. Now, I know a thing or two about this category of contact management and CRM, in that I invented contact management and CRM before Outlook or Salesforce even existed, with a product called Goldmine. And I did that because I struggled, like you as a business person, to build relationships that drove results. I managed my leads on pieces of paper, did my appointments in my day timer, communicated with Pink while you're out slips, and I did my forecast once a month the night before it was due, because it wasn't part of my business process. And so I looked around for a tool that would enable me to integrate email, contact, calendar, and sales and market automation. I couldn't find it. I was overwhelmed. And so I quit my job and started a company called Goldmine that actually pioneered contact management and CRM. But what was unique about Goldmine was it wasn't really designed for management reporting. It was designed for customer relationships. And at the heart of it, it was all about powering you to engage more effectively. And that's why people loved it. And it enabled me to retire when I was 40 years old and spend 10 years raising 3 babies. And I'll tell you what, I feel blessed every single day to be able to have had those moments. But then I started swimming in the social river, and I saw the immense power of social media. In 2006, 7, and 8, I saw it was going to change the way we work, play, buy, and sell. I started looking for a tool that would enable me to connect my contacts and my social. I couldn't find it. I started looking at CRM systems and saw they were broken. Contact management and CRMs are broken because they're not about relationships. They're about reporting. And what you need is you need to go out and buy a bunch of different tools and hobble them together in order to build a sales and marketing technology stack that enables you to effectively do the job you need to do, which is identify people that matter, reach out in a relevant, authentic way, and to build trust and intimacy that drives results. And that's why we built Nimble. Nimble is the first CRM that works for you by building itself from the data that you already have in your business. And the data that you have, the most important data you have, is the contacts you're connecting to, the conversations you're having, and the activities that you're driving. The operating system of your business is G Suite, Gmail, or Office 365. And we layer on top, unify that together, enrich it with people and company data, log the history of interactions you and the team have had on email, calendar, and social, map the social contacts as well, and then integrate with any SaaS business app you use. So it doesn't matter if Nimble is your social sales and marketing system or works within your social sales and marketing systems, which is one of the reasons why we're partnering with companies like Microsoft, who actually have a CRM, and they see us as a simple CRM for Office and a gateway to Dynamics, which we'll talk about a little bit later. And I think that's one of the reasons why we've been recognized so much in the industry as having pioneered not only social CRM and social selling, but really reimagining relationship management. So you don't have to work for it or go to it to use it. It works for you and works everywhere you work. And I'm actually proud to say that out of the thousands of CRMs out there, we are a market leader and have been a market leader for some time, and we owe that to you, all of you. You have powered our journey, and I'm thankful. I'm grateful, and I love you, man. I love you all. So let's talk about some of the recent milestones that we've done. We pioneered social selling. We built the CRM that automatically builds itself, that delivers insights on contacts and companies, that enables you to then segment off of that data to do outreach at scale, one-to-one, one-to-many, that enable you to prospect intelligently by building records automatically from any data that you have, that does it on the mobile, that does it in Office, Outlook, Outlook Desktop, has two-way sync, and has a dashboard that delivers an amazing unification of all those signals. So let's just jump real quick into a quick overview of kind of like what we've built. So I think the key thing that is involved in relationships are people, contacts. But when you go to a contact record in Office or G Suite, you don't have context, the history of interactions that you and the team have had on email, calendar, and social. And that's because contacts aren't connected to the conversations or the activities that you're driving. And that's what Nimble does by unifying all that disparate data into a singular whole, mapping the identity of people and company, bringing the data down, and then automatically mapping that data into their profile and building a digital dossier that includes information that you could use for segmentation and logs every interaction that you and the team have had. Now, beyond that, Nimble also unifies all your messages, all your social signals, all of your calendar activities, enables you to build deals and pipelines with multiple deal pipelines built in, and then unifies all of that into a singular dashboard that enables you to start your day and end your day. I'm really proud of this dashboard that the team has built because it gives you a unification of all your signals, including the opens and clicks on the emails that you're doing. But the thing I'm most excited about what Nimble does is that you don't have to work for it and you don't have to go to it to use it. You could use it inside your email inbox inside of Gmail G Suite. You could use it inside of your inbox inside of Office 365. And when you add Nimble to Office 365, it will automatically add it to Outlook Desktop and Outlook Mobile. And it doesn't just work inside of contacts, it works inside the calendar as well. And it also works inside of your contact platform. In addition to that, Nimble also ties together Office and Dynamics, because today Microsoft doesn't have a solution that ties Office and Dynamics together. And because we bidirectionally synchronize with over 130 SaaS business apps, Nimble will automatically unify all the contacts from Office, from Dynamics, from social, enrich them with people and company data, and then let you use it back in Office inside Dynamics, which enables you to bring your Office contacts into Dynamics and then use it anywhere as you're working. And I want to show you an example of prospecting. So the other day, somebody was telling me about this application called Lead Feeder that will reverse IP visitors to your website and then provide you signals on people that might be in your CRM. So I wanted to do some biz dev with these people to explore an integration. And what I love about Nimble is if I Nimble a company, it'll give me all the data on that company, but it'll also give me their CEO. And then I could easily go and look that person up. And then once I look that person up, I can go ahead and build a record for that person by simply mapping, hovering or highlighting their URL. And then what happens is Nimble will go and build this beautiful record for me, depending on how my internet speed is working. So essentially what I do is I point to that URL, and then Nimble builds this beautiful record automatically, and I could then get his contact info because Nimble has prospector information built into it. So it'll automatically give me everything I need in order to reach out to that person. And all that was built without me lifting more than a finger. And I love that. And then this record can then be synchronized to any of the applications that Nimble connects to. And Nimble doesn't just connect to your email, contact, calendar, and social. It'll connect to any app that you have in your business. And that's critically important because Nimble becomes your team relationship manager, because it's not just salespeople that touch the people around your business, and it's not just prospects and customers that you need to touch. At Nimble, we connect to editors, analysts, bloggers, influencers, third-party developers, investors, advisors, and prospects and customers. And Nimble will enable the entire team to work together because we unify applications from sales, marketing, customer service, accounting, and social media into a singular whole. So that means there are no more silos in your business. But what I love about Nimble is it gives me who somebody is, where they're from, where they work, where they went to school, what they're influential in, and enables me to then begin to connect with that person effectively and intelligently. And one of the things I really love about our latest rendition is the ability to do templated trackable emails directly from within the Nimble application. And so the key things that I'm super excited about is that Nimble literally works everywhere you work, which enables you to be prospecting smarter everywhere and anywhere as you're working. And you need to do this because what happens is if you're doing what you're supposed to do, which is building a great brand and sharing content to stand out from the crowd to inspire and educate other people about how they might become better, smarter, faster, then you're going to generate these signals and engagements from people. And what you need to do is then reel those people in for conversations and relationships. But what happens is that you may be sharing that content and people may be talking about you, like this person, Rand, was talking about me to this person, Tiffany Bova. And what Nimble does is because it listens to every signal that is said about you, the team, and the brand, and then highlights those contacts, Nimble actually told me that this person was talking about me. I was able to Nimble the person, and I discovered that they were the head of CRM and data at Disney, and I was able to then reach out and communicate more effectively, not only in this tweet, but actually engage with him with his email because Nimble gives me all that contact info. And then I was able to take that conversation from one spot to the other, and Nimble followed me all along those routes in order to enable me to engage and be consistent across all those different places. And that's really the power of Nimble. And the other last thing I'd like to share with you is how we do all this in mobile, because ultimately you need to be able to do this not just inside of your CRM. You need to be able to be doing this everywhere you work. And of course, my caster thing is not happening right now, so I will skip the mobile. You can go to our website and learn more about the mobile functions. And so with that, I want to talk about where we're going. So where is Nimble going? Well, if you think about Nimble, the heart of the Nimble system is the contact manager. And what we want to be able to do is to enhance the core of the contact record to make it easier to view and log and find the information that you're putting into it. And so we're completely revamping the record where the contact record is going to go over to the left, and then the whole right section is going to be all about actions. And it's going to be easier for you to be able to granularly log the specific details on the different types of tasks, including whether calls, what types of things you're doing, custom types of activities, and the result codes thereof. And then to be able to report on all that information and tie those activities to team members that are doing them and results and deals that you're driving from them. And so it's really all about making it much more efficient to granularly log the details you need in order to then report on that and view that and see it quickly. So when you go to contact record, you can quickly see the details that you need and to be able to edit all that information in line. The other thing that we're doing is we're updating the a number of different areas around the contact listing window. But let's go through a list of the key things that we're going to be doing. We're redesigning the contact record and the contact listing window, enabling you with inline editing and a full dynamic screen that essentially will size and be dynamic for the size of the screens that you have. So if you want to, you could actually have two screens going. You could have it fill in the screen, and you can customize what will be in the different sections thereof. We're going to redesign the Smart Contacts app that also will give you additional ability to do inline and viewing. And it's not just going to be about contacts anymore. The Smart Contacts app inside of browsers, Office, and G Suite will have your calendar, your to-dos, and your deals just like the mobile does. In addition, we're going to redo the entire activity and task listing with the ability to, like I said, log granular activities, but also to be able to view and edit all that inline as well and do reports on it. And then I think that tasks and notes are the key things you do with context. I think that the biggest cause of failure in business is lack of follow-up and follow-through, and it needs to be easy for business people to schedule those tasks, log those notes, and to be able to search and report on them. We're also updating the contact types to enable you to have account types and lead types with record owner and privacy. Privacy will be at individual and group levels. We're going to enable you to associate contacts to multiple companies and relate contacts to each other. So you could easily relate a contact because I referred this person to that person, or that person referred you to this person, or this person is a consultant to that person, or that person's the father to that person, or this person reports to that person, all those kinds of things. We're also going to give you custom merge rules. So when you import data, like let's say you're importing QuickBooks data, you could import based off of the unique identifier of the customer ID, and then every time you import thereafter, it'll always match that data properly. We're going to give you the ability to do merge, purge contacts in bulk. We're going to give you updated deals with tags, custom fields, ability to import, export with an enhanced reporting and notifications. We're going to enable you to send and track emails from any of the applications, including the web app, the browser app, the mobile, and the Smart Contacts apps. We're going to give you a whole new database type. In fact, we're rehosting Nimble to Azure in SQL, giving you common data services, and giving you data types that enable you to essentially build any kind of line of business app you want. In fact, we're going to give you the ability to customize Nimble in many, many ways. And so you could essentially build net new versions of Nimble. And we're going to give you templates that are industry and line of business templates that will make Nimble tailor for you right out of the box. We're going to give you contact privacy with user groups. I think that's a repeat. And one of the things I'm really excited about with our rehosting of Nimble on Azure is not just common data services, but the ability to do workflow automation, visualization, reporting, and customization. We'll get into the details of that. You can now, we'll be able to create bulk activity sets with automation, convert people to company and vice versa, reply tracking with send later on group and individual emails, and automation on segmentation, including email automation, which starts us down the road of marketing automation. So with that, let's get into the details of the contact record. This is the updated contact record. I alluded to this before, and the whole idea is that you'll be able to configure the information and the layout of the contact record over here on the left. Over here on the right, everything will be really easily viewable, searchable, as well as loggable in there. And then this is the contact listing window where you can define what fields go in there, as well as inline editing, and you'll be able to sort on these columns. A lot of times, I think most people's CRM is a spreadsheet, and I think people work well in spreadsheets. So we're essentially going to make our contact listing window effectively a virtual spreadsheet for you to be able to build segments and work on them in list view or contact views. In addition, we're going to give you different views within the contact record where we're going to redesign the entire contact screen, where when you go to the different sections, there'll be inline editing capabilities. And in here, you'll be able to actually customize your own view of screens and fields within the application that'll essentially enable Nimble to be tailored for, like I said, different line of business applications. So if you're using Nimble in a specific workflow for your company, you could really tailor it to that. And not only that, but be able to tie it into data sets of other data systems that you have within your business. So this is a deeper view into the contact record, into the details of the contact record. This is a view down into adding activities. As you can see, you can go ahead and mark things as completed. When you log activities, it'll automatically update the last contacted date, depending on if it's a successful connection. And when you're sending emails, it's going to be a lot cleaner to be able to do the templating and attachments, etc. And then this is an example of sending a message. Here's an example of going down into the details of a contact record. And then this is some examples of some custom widgets that we're looking at enabling our customers and our partners to build. So we envision that there'll be a number of different custom add-in apps that our ISV partners can build. And I'm really excited about that because there's a lot of things I'd like to do with enabling people to embed tools for social selling or for training or scripting or whatever you need to do within the application. In addition to the contact record, and we call our contact record the CPV, contact profile view, we're going to be updating the Smart Contacts app. And when I say Smart Contacts app, there's a Smart Contacts app in the browser, Chrome, Safari, Firefox, and Edge. There's also a Smart Contacts app that plugs into Gmail, G Suite, and a Smart Contacts for Office 365. Look for a Smart Contacts app in Dynamics soon. And so what we're going to do is take this whole concept of the refresh design, and it's really all about being able to see, edit, view information, and customize it more effectively. And it'll just be a lot easier to use and edit with less clicks and more functionality. This is the activity tracking and reporting. This looks like the contact listing view, but it's actually not. This is the activity listing view. So let's just take a look at that so we know kind of what we're talking about. This is the contact record, the CPV. We talked about the redesign there. This is the contact listing window, and we talked about the redesign there. This is your activities view, and there's two views of that. There's the agenda, which we synchronize from your calendar from G Suite and Office, and then there's the task view, which is the line listing view of your activities. So this is going to look much more like the contact listing view, where you'll have the ability to customize what fields you see in there with inline editing, the ability to sort it and report on it. So it's just essentially going to be a lot more functional. You could build call lists if you want to call 40 people in the day and cycle through those. And there'll be really great reporting for all of that. And so this is the new agenda view. This is the activity tracking view. And this is the dynamic view, where the screens will essentially fill whatever size that you have. So you could go ahead and put in whatever columns and fields that you need in there. And the whole redesign of Nimble is essentially going to go across all the tabs ultimately, where deals will also fill the whole screen. You can see that there's these gray areas here that don't allow you to fully view everything. So it'll be dynamic with your screen. And then in deals, you'll be able to have um, customized tags and fields within the deals as well. So let me just go ahead and come back here. This is an example of login activity. As you can see, there's log of the result of the call. So Nimble make it really easy to log your calls effectively. And we're also going to be building in some support for some power dialing as well. And so here's some the view of some of the granularity of the logging. And then finally, we're updating the email tracking so that you can go ahead and send templated trackable emails from within the contact record, from within the mobile, and from within the Smart Contacts app, and then get signals in all those places. So when people when you send an email from your mobile, it can have attachments and BCC and CC people, and it'll be tracked so you get signals on that, and you'll immediately get the signals on your mobile or your desktop when you send those. So this is an example of the signals inside of the mobile, and there'll also be similar signals inside of the widget as well for you to be able to see. We're also going to be updating the types of data that you could store in Nimble and search for in Nimble, including a number of different new field types. And we're also giving you contact privacy. So there's going to be the ownership of contact. You'll be able to assign contacts to specific users. You'll have user groups for privacy. You could set that at import. You could modify in bulk through segmentation. And then we need contact types of lead and accounts, so the ability to convert leads to accounts with dashboards on the number of leads that you've gotten into the system. We are in the process of rehosting Nimble from AWS to Azure and hosting that in a SQL database. It's going to provide a number of different functionalities. You know, I feel like deja vu because we started with Novell and DBase in the Goldmine days and converted over to Office and SQL Server as we scaled as Microsoft ate Novell with NT Server. And we started with a simple database and AWS and Gmail G Suite with Nimble. And now as Microsoft is scaling and eating Gmail G Suite with Office, we're now supporting Azure and SQL, which is interesting because we were the #1 ISV for Microsoft back in the Goldmine days, and we're on the way to doing that with Microsoft as a simple CRM for Office, and that will just benefit our customers because of the additional functionality and support and size that we'll get from all of that. So let's get into some of the specific things that we're going to gain by being in the Azure environment. We're going to integrate tightly into Nimble, Power BI, Flow, Power Apps, and common data services. And I encourage you to go study what this means, but essentially you'll be able to connect Nimble to any other data sources that are supported on common data services, which most applications and most business development environments will be supporting, which means you'll be able to tie Nimble into any of the key mission critical data systems that you build within your company and create visualization, workflow automation, and reporting through all that. So Power BI will be embedded in Nimble. You'll be able to use that even if you're not an Office customer, which means the G Suite Gmail customers that we have will be able to use the visualization reporting that we embed, but to get the most out of it, really, because to really tie into all the different email contacts and calendars that you have within your business, you might benefit from upgrading to Office in the future, and we could actually facilitate that with one click when or if you're ready. But the beauty about Power BI is it'll allow you to modify the default dashboards and reportings and visualizations, or create net new ones if you get a license of Power BI for yourself. Microsoft Flow essentially allows you to say if this and that for people and companies. It'll be embedded into Nimble. You'll be able to create workflow automation. If I had a contact that looks like this, then do that. And all of this workflow automation is built with literally Excel formulas that are really that easy to do these things. Power Apps enables you to build net new applications in mobile, on web, and it'll allow you to do really amazing things like simple web lead capture, or building a new screen in Nimble, or building a new application in the web or mobile that ties together Nimble data and your QuickBooks data, or your Dynamics data, or your custom data of whatever you're building. And so with Power BI Flow, Power Apps, Azure Common Data Services, and a SQL backend, it really opens up the world to you as a customer, to you as a Nimble partner to add value to our customers, and to you as a software developer to create net new add-ons to Nimble to grow your business. We built a new version of Mobile 3.0 Android that essentially gives you the capabilities to see history in the contact record and be able to send templated emails at scale. And we continue to build new widgets for the Today page that enable you to represent and visualize the data that you need in your business. Finally, we now have the ability to support Twitter's new formats of larger posts, 280 character posts, the standard retweet things, etc. And with that, I think I've covered all of the key things. So Joe, you want to share that Google Doc with the questions via Slack to me?
Hey, John. I didn't have the Google Doc with questions, but I do have some questions from some other people about where we're going. Some people are asking about if we're looking to integrate with any call center software like Ring Central in the future.
Yeah, so I think that with the integrations that we already have with Zapier, as well as with Microsoft Flow, it'll be really simple to do some basic integrations. But we actually are talking to a number of different call center applications, and not just Ring Central, but also Vonage as well. And there'll be more announcements as we solidify those relationships. But telephony integration was a key aspect of Goldmine's functionality, because if you build a call list and you want to reach out to them at scale, it's great to be able to not only power dial, but also get screen pops from incoming calls from contacts, etc., and to actually be able to see the history of those calls. So it definitely is in our roadmap, but not close enough for us to necessarily put it in this presentation.
For sure. Another one, I know we talked about this in Power Apps, but could you talk about someone that's maybe they've got a SQL database that they use for order management, and how with Power Apps that they'd be able to, if they migrate that to the cloud, connect that into Nimble?
So I think what you just said is, if they have a custom application that they've created, and if they migrate that to Azure, how can they integrate that to Nimble? Is that what you said?
Well, they're a company that has their orders in Access or SQL, and they're wondering if Nimble will be able to support connecting those orders to Nimble in the future.
You bet. So there is a common data model within the Microsoft development environment that enables you to build connectors and gateways to disparate applications. So you'll be able to map data from Nimble and data from your custom app into a net new screen, or to map data from your application into screens in Nimble, or data from Nimble into screens in your application.
Yeah. And then, yeah, that makes sense. And then I wanted to mention that we showed the timeline widget at the end and the Twitter integration at the end, and we did release those today in the app, so you can see those today in Nimble. And then also that people are wondering what to expect is near the front of the line in terms of like privacy or these other.
Sure. So let's just go to the laundry list of things and rough out a rough timeline on some of these different things that we see here. So I think the first thing that you're going to see is the redesign activities, logging capabilities. followed by the updated contact record, which will then follow with the Smart Contacts app updated, which will follow with the new task listing, which will follow with the detailed activity notes tracking searching, which will follow with the Azure SQL rehosting, which will follow with Common Data Services, Power BI, Flow, Power Apps. So right now we're basically in the January, February timeframe, which will follow with the privacy model and new merge capabilities and then new data types. So now we're basically getting towards the end of Q1, and then everything else will roughly follow after that. So it's not that long of a window. It's all pretty near term.
Yeah, and then another one I just saw from Chuck. He was asking, are we planning to integrate with Twilio or anything for SMS or group texting out of Nimble?
Sure. So the key thing there, Chuck, is my vision of building automated processes. So automated processes was something we trademarked in the gold mine days, if this and that for people and companies. And the heart of automated process segmentation, the if this. And so we built the segmentation, and now next is the automation off that. And so when you build a segment right now, you can manually send a group message. But what we're going to do is we're going to build a automation on that, so you could build segments and then say what should be done when something enters or exits that segment. And the thing that you could do will initially be send an email, but ultimately we intend to enable you to also do things like sending text as well, etc. So it definitely is on the roadmap.
Yeah, and then I've got another one from Jay Miller. He's asking about given your partnership with Microsoft, given that Microsoft owns LinkedIn now, would I be able to run a filtered search in Sales Navigator, then pull those results into Nimble? And I know that with our widget, you can currently pull those kind of results out of Sales Navigator, but I want to see if you want to add anything to that, John.
Well, definitely we should be able to do things that other CRMs do with relationships into Navigator, but I don't know if Navigator does that today with other CRMs, and that's something maybe you can tell me, Jay. But LinkedIn likes to keep a pretty tight lid on what you can do and can't do. They like you to live in Navigator, and the integrations with most of the CRMs are pretty basic. Um, LinkedIn runs as a separate company from Microsoft. Microsoft doesn't even have access to their APIs. uh, which is one of the reasons why Dynamics is looking at recommending Nimble as a sales intelligence tool for embedded into Dynamics. So I anticipate that our relationship with LinkedIn will just improve over time because Microsoft is a partner company. Microsoft is an open environment company that encourages developers and resellers and trainers. And I think LinkedIn will benefit from that more open stance and environment. So I look forward to that. Actually, if you think about it, today, Nimble is a simple CRM for Office and G Suite that really gives Office and G Suite what it's missing, a team contact manager and simple social sales and marketing. But as customers grow, they might need a more sophisticated development environment like a Dynamics or a Salesforce. And so Nimble can start out as your simple social sales and marketing system, but as your company grows to a certain extent, you'll actually be able to upgrade to Dynamics from Nimble, and Nimble will still be part of Dynamics. We'll make Dynamics prettier, smarter, better. So if you look at a typical CRM screen, it's a dead screen that you do all the work. Imagine this screen as Nimbleize. So there's Dynamics flavors for hospitals and automobile dealerships. There'll be a Nimble flavor of Dynamics, and you'll be able to actually push a button and upgrade as a user, or the partner can upgrade you, and you would then use Nimble as a sales enablement add-on to Dynamics. So I hope that helps.
Yeah, I think that was great. And I see a question from Jayant is asking, if I have a 365 and Gmail and GoDaddy emails, can I combine all in Nimble?
Yeah,
And
that's actually one of the beauties of Nimble is that, and Jan, you're like me. I have IMAP mail, I have 365, I have Gmail, and I have G Suite. And Nimble unifies all those into a cohesive whole. And so, yes, the answer is yes.
Yeah, it'll unify. You can connect all those emails, and you can send from those other clients. Those messages all sync back to Nimble to your
Yeah.
client.
And then there's a question from Robin about Instagram signals. Unfortunately, more and more signals are being cut off by the vendors. So we used to have full integration of Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter signals. LinkedIn actually gave me every public and private API that they had. So you were able to synchronize contacts in a Nimble, look contacts up based off their email, enrich the contacts, integrate all the messages and signals from notifications and groups. But they've cut that off, and Facebook has cut the APIs off as well, as has Instagram. I think some of it is they want you to buy their products, Navigator, and go to their websites, Facebook for advertising. And some of it is actually as a result of all of the privacy issues with the Russian hacking and all that kind of stuff. And so that's why I think Nimble really benefits from working wherever you work. And here's an example of how I use that. So let's say that somebody's trying to connect with me and I don't really know who they are and I want to know who they are before I connect with them. Well, what I do is I Nimble them. And then Nimble essentially will go and give me a record of who this person is, and then I can go in and see if there's been any history of interactions between myself and her or the team, and then decide if I do actually want to connect with them. And so while we can't control access to the signals that we get to put into Nimble, we can give you the ability to work in those places and provide value. So I hope that helps.
Yeah. And then Jan's got, it's not a feature question, but before I bring up this question, I want to ask anyone if you have any other questions, feel free to flood them in here. We've got some time. But this one from Jan, he's asking, seems like Nimble is a huge structure. How can one learn how to use Nimble effectively? And we have a lot of resources at your disposal to help you succeed with Nimble. And John, I'll just pass it off to you.
Well, I think that is actually a great question. And that's one of the reasons why we're building in all of these dashboards and training videos that we're producing in order to help you onboard and be more successful with Nimble. So we built this onboarding checklist. It helps guide you through how to be successful with Nimble. And then it's also one of the reasons why we're going to build custom widgets for partners to be able to do training, because you can imagine all the different specific types of training that could be done for making Nimble more successful. But if you ever have questions on Nimble, just click this button here. There's videos here. You can also ask questions. And if you get to the point where you need more help, we'll actually jump on the phone with you and walk you through things. So we're here to help you grow. But more importantly, we've got great partners worldwide who are out there who are available to support you. Chuck Royer is one of the partners that's listening to this today. We're a partner-driven company. And so we'd be happy to refer you to a local partner as well.
Yeah. And then Mark Stone was asking about send emails later. Could this be, he's saying if we have send later emails, it's going to lead into maybe having email sequences inside of Nimble.
Yeah, so that's really what that's all about, is the ability to say, send this email and listen for a reply. On no reply, send this other email. And that's really all about automated processes. And Mark, I'm pretty sure you are a Goldmine partner, so you know what automated processes is, and that's where we're headed. So basically, today, Nimble is a market leader in CRM. We're a market leader in sales intelligence. We're also a market leader in email tracking, and we're on our way to building the market automation that will enable us to essentially blend social sales marketing into a cohesive whole, enable you to capture leads from your website, get signals on when they come back, and put people on automated tracks to nurture them over time. Because it takes 22 touches before somebody's in a prime buying cycle, according to my good friend Jim Cecil, who happens to be in heaven today, and taught me about nurture marketing, and I love him forever for that.
I want to add to Mark's question, or to anybody today that's looking to have campaign sequences. With Nimble, we integrate with a great product called 366 Degrees, and they allow you from within their dashboard to pull any saved Nimble search into a campaign that you run from 366. Then using our quick lookups integration in Nimble, you can actually view the campaign inside of Nimble while you're viewing a Nimble record. You can also add people to campaigns from Nimble, and it's awesome integration.
And in addition, if you're a Nimble partner, I'm pretty sure they give it to you for free and give you training. So there's no excuse for you not to be using that today.
It's very affordable. They have a lot of great templates. So I give it, give it 5 stars. And then we've got another question from the iCatalyst team. They're asking if we're planning on having, sub organizations or sub companies within Nimble accounts. So say, you know what that means, John.
Sure. So there's a few reasons why you'd want to have sub companies. One reason would be is if you're running multiple companies and you want to have a singular unification of all that. The other is if you're a consulting company and you're consulting for multiple companies, so you'd be able to switch between companies. So maybe you'd come over here and you'd switch the different company. And there's nuances to the differences of those. So what I'd ask you to do for that question is send us a detailed description of what you envision, because it is our desire to enable Nimble to support multiple companies. And it's different if you're a digital agency supporting multiple customers or if you're an umbrella company with multiple companies. And I'd love to learn more about what you have in mind for that. So we're open to a conversation. There's a question, do we have a free trial period? Yes, it's 2 weeks. You just go to our website and sign up. And if you're in a free trial on Nimble and you want to start subscribing, use the code JON40, John40. You'll get 40% off your first 3 months.
We should actually, John, I was thinking we should send them to that new Grow Faster page we have for joining.
Yeah,
Facebook.
I think we're good. Okay, so what else we got?
Looks like that's it.
Okay. So this is the final few minutes. If you have any questions here, let us know. If you have any feedback or comments, let us know. If we didn't touch one of the key things that you are interested in, let us know. My email is jon@nimble, John@nimble. You can connect with me on social anywheres that you're comfortable. Let us know how we can help you grow better, smarter, faster. Okay, so you see any last minute questions?
Yeah.
There's a thing here, how does 366 work for Teams? I think, Eric, we'll have to get you referred over to the 366 people to answer that question directly. Maybe you could type in here what the URL is for that, Joe.
366.io, but you can have multiple team members on it. It's similar to Nimble. And the teams would have access to those different campaigns. You might be able to set privacy. You can talk to Brad over there. But
Stuart just asked, are we seeing any of these changes before the end of the year? Yes, you will. Probably the activity logging that we were referring to earlier will be in before the end of the year. We'll probably be on Azure before the end of the year. But Stuart, as a Nimble partner, you can go to our Nimble partner briefings and connect with your partner reps directly, and we will give you the inside scoop because you are our person in the field. Just wanted to send some love to all of our partners out there, because without you, we couldn't scale to the millions of customers that we're going to be serving worldwide.
Yep.
Best calendaring system for appointments. I use Calendly.
Yeah.
And interestingly enough, Calendly has integrations to Flow. So if you want to see what Microsoft Flow works with, you can go into here and you can essentially look at this. But you're going to have all that automation inside of Nimble shortly, which I'm super, super excited about. And with that, it looks like we are wrapped up. How do you, Eric, just contact 366 and let them know you're a Nimble partner if you are a Nimble partner, but you'll actually have to be a real Nimble partner to do that. And with that, I want to thank everybody for spending their morning with us. We're grateful for your patronage for the platforms that we build. We're all about powering people to achieve their dreams. And with that, have an amazing Friday. And Rich, I'll be seeing you in Seattle soon. I'll be up there on Sunday, so maybe we can get together for a coffee or something. Good luck and good selling. Bye-bye.